It is hot. Welcome to Universal Studios. What up, Rick? It is hot today. We're in line for the third tram. Yeah, it's hot here, but for sure. Yeah, it's humid. Definitely humid. Not hot. Well, it is hot, but it is humid as well. So it's like, damn, for sure. What up, bro? Welcome, welcome. Yeah, definitely. Definitely humid and hot. This is the tram. Universal Studios Hollywood. This is a tram. And, yeah, but it is humid though.
Hola, 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 muy buenas tardes, muy bienvenidos a el famoso mundialmente estudio tour de los estudios Universal de Hollywood. Así es, muy bienvenidos amigos. A ver, antes de partir a sus estudios de formación, rápidamente quiero repasar con ustedes. Si no tienen lentes de tercera dimensión, ahora es el momento de hacernos saber si vamos a alcanzarles un par de lentes porque nos van a necesitar más adelante. Esta va a ser la última oportunidad que van a tener de adquirir esos lentes de tercera dimensión. También amigos, voy a pedir que sepan muy chiquitos que sus pies
That is electric vehicle. You know when it's electric when there's no exhaust on the first tram. For sure, Rick. The heat. Yeah, the weather here is crazy. It could be hot and then it could be cold. Yeah, definitely the heat and something not to look forward to. Yeah. There is. Nah, the heat is crazy. Thank you, thank you. I usually come in the afternoons. I don't really come in the mornings because it's packed in the morning. So I usually come in the afternoons because I'm able to use my pass. For sure, Rick. How it going, brother? Definitely. I'll be right here at the tram. It said 20 minutes, but it feels more. We're gonna get a quick glimpse of all the mazes in the lower lot. Also, hopefully they should be doing shows, commercials, etc. down there. Also, if you guys didn't know, the back lot is actually a city with their own zip code, street name. They do have a police station, fire station, and ambulance as well. One thing missing is people living there. Other than that, no one, no one lives in the back lot due to movies, commercials, stuff like that. For sure, being filmed in the back lot. So it's like okay. But you know, one of the first visitors, I didn't catch to see it. There's students here as well. I think a school is out here. So the park is gonna get packed for sure. Feels like a field trip. I wish I could have gone the VIP. Cool posters that they put right here in the wait time. As we wait to go inside the third tram, they're showing us pretty much old pictures, old stuff. Pretty cool. But then you have remember the tramp is actually there's two types. There's electric and a gas. That one's also electric. The good thing, the good thing is that it's moving pretty quick. So 20 minutes, it is going down quick. Um, I do like that. So that means that they do have a lot of tramps available, which is cool. So the last time that I came, and they only had I think 4. So I was like, oh shoot. Okay. Trying to see the show, but yeah, but the line is moving quick. Normally, if I come in the morning, I like to do this one right off the rip, first thing in the morning, and then because usually everybody's at Mario or the Mummy or Jurassic or even at the lower lot rides. You got Mario. Mario takes forever. Uh, Transformers. You have Transformers, and then you have Jurassic. So it's like, yeah, lower lot is a no go unless you buy the express to go first. Then for sure, I'll definitely do that one. But without it, I don't think I would do it. That's why usually I wait until the afternoon. Because if you have a platinum pass, it's better to come in the afternoon, skip through all of this, get everything out the way. Do recommend platinum passes for everybody. Just because if you do buy the platinum pass, you do get like discounts on food, merch, tickets, and you get a 1 day pass for free for Halloween Horror Nights, which is pretty cool. That's if you guys are thinking of doing that. Definitely. But here we go. So we're kind of already close by. No, you're good.
Welcome to the world famous Studio Tour, folks. If you're waiting for the next tram, look down at your feet. I hope you're standing on a star. 1 star equals 1 seat on the next tram. If you are not standing on the star, you do not have a seat on the next tram. Please stand behind the red and yellow lines. It is for your safety. Again, please stand behind the red and yellow lines. Please stand behind the red and yellow lines. Make sure you are standing on a star. Our trams will be pulling forward at any moment. Rows 1 and 2 share the same entrance. Again, rows 1 and 2 share the same entrance. When the tram pulls forward, come to a complete stop. Row 1 will enter first, followed by row 2. Here comes tram number 11. Please stand behind the red and yellow lines. And do not cross until the Studio Tour ambassadors say it's safe to do so. Have a pair of 3D glasses ready. You don't have to put them on.
We're gonna get 1 and 2.
Just have them in your hands. And please wait, everyone.
There are only 4 people in each seat.
6.
Not yet, not yet.
Yeah.
Not yet, folks. Welcome aboard.
Yeah, 6. Oh, number 2. Yeah. You want me to go in the front?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's 6.
Take them off.
No. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And they go in the front.
Bro, I don't think you're big, but okay. You know I'm big, right? I know you see me.
Then I'll go with them.
No. I was saying we can do all in one train. They look at us like,
Welcome, everyone, to the world famous Universal Studio Tour. Good afternoon. My name is Eric. I'm going to be your tour guide today. Please move all the way to the right, filling all available seats. If you have anyone in your party whose feet don't touch the ground, like small children or small boyfriends and husbands, please move them to the center of the tram now. It's for your safety. Before we leave, they're going to be closing the gates on your left. If you're close to the gates, watch your hands, feet, and toes. And if you look under your seats, you'll find nothing.
Remember, guys, the green one is electric and the yellow one is gas. So those signs, those letters that say universal, if they're green, you're electric vehicle. If they're yellow, they're gas.
Again, if you need 3D glasses, raise your hand. Last call for 3D glasses. Is this anyone's first time on the Studio Tour? Raise your hands. Oh, welcome. Welcome, first timers. No spoilers. No spoilers for your first timers. Just have your 3D glasses ready. The tour lasts 45 minutes to an hour, which is great news, Mom and Dad. You get to sit for 45 minutes to an hour. Yay. And if you have any snacks, beverages, or adult beverages, feel free to enjoy them on the tour. We allow food and drink on our trams. We're the only ride that allows you to have a snack. You can't eat popcorn on the ride, that's for sure. It's too messy.
Oh my God.
Last call for 3D glasses, folks.
Unbelievable.
It's the weekend, folks, so the route is pretty open. There's not really much production happening, but you will see a lot of setup for the productions that do film during the week. So have your cameras out. And I hope you are having a mega movie summer. If you celebrate mega movie summer, if you observe, make sure to head to Waterworld, where there's a photo op with the shark. Oh yeah, man! I am so excited to introduce you to our driver. Make some noise for Alejandro! All right, we begin the thumbs up. Let's get this Universal production started. Sing along, you know the words. Bye-bye. 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 Folks, if you're standing on a load line, you should be standing on a star. That star represents your seat. There we go. Go ahead and board this train, moving all the way over to your right-hand side, filling in all the available space.
Hi, kid. So you guys know the backlot is an actual city with their own zip code, street names, their own firefighters, their own police station, ambulance as well, first aid on site. Only thing missing is civilians living in the backlot. Reason why they don't live in the backlot is because they use the backlot for a lot of filming, shows, commercials, events.
No worries, keep those hands up. We'll grab some for you. If you're currently wearing your 3D glasses, no need to. I'll let you know when to put them on. Just one's for the studio tour. That's for King Kong 360 3D. If you have any small children with you, say their feet don't quite touch the floor, make sure they're toward the center of the tram, and watch your left-hand side as those tram gates start to come to a close. We also have our driver on board. Can we get a big, rowdy round of applause for our driver, Oscar? He's one of the best in the business. He'll be taking us around here in just a moment. Take a look at that beautiful view of the San Fernando Valley off to your right-hand side. The bottom of the hill, that's our movie studio, one of the biggest, busiest, and oldest in the world. Beyond that, our neighbors, Warner Brothers. My friends in Car 2, did you get 3D glasses yet? We all good? All right, awesome. Set to jet. Watch your left-hand side. We'll be taking off here as soon as we can. Alright, we got one thumbs up, we got two thumbs up, we are out of here. Look to your left, wave goodbye to those folks still standing in line because you'll never see them again. I'm kidding, you'll see them in line later. Alright, I'm gonna pass it over to my co-host and host of The Tonight Show, Mr. Jimmy Fallon.
Oh, hey there! Welcome to the Universal Studio Tour. I'm Jimmy Fallon. I'll be making sure that you get through this experience in one piece. You've got the very best guide.
Ron.
And the greatest driver.
Oscar.
You're the best. I love that. Even though
Ron.
owes me $5.
Baba Booey.
I know you guys are excited to get on the tour, but first, a few safety rules.
Thanks, Jimmy. That's right. We got a few safety rules to go over. First, if you need guest assistance, have a medical emergency. If you drop something of value outside the tram or you have any sound or video issues, reach up and pull the red emergency cord that runs along the center of the ceiling of the tram, and I'll be back to assist you as soon as it's safe to do so. Otherwise, during your entire tour, please stay seated. Keep your arms and legs inside the vehicle at all times. Remember, the studio is private property, so if at any time during your tour you drop your phone or just can't wait to use the restroom, pull the cord and remain seated. Please no smoking of any kind during the tour, and that includes vaping, and be prepared. Our tour today features loud noises, sub-tram movements, fire effects, and many water effects. You want to have your cameras operate photo opportunities, but keep an eye on them so they don't get wet. Finally, if your door's sitting around you, please refrain from using selfie sticks while on board. Usually there's an applause break there, that's fine. Alright, I hear you, Car 2. Alright, we're heading down the Universal timeline. You'll see movie posters. These posters represent just a few of the literally thousands of movies we've produced here over the past 110 years. It all started March 15th, 1915, the day that our founder, Mr. Carl Laemmle, the gentleman on in the bow tie on your screens, opened the gates to Universal, declaring this would be the strangest city in the world. We truly are our very own city. We have our own zip code, medical services, sheriff station, and fire station, which is coming up on your right-hand side. That is Fire Station 51. They respond to real emergencies, both on the lot and in the theme park. Some of our first responders out right now. That's happening to your right. Over to your left, this big construction site, all part of construction for our Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift roller coaster, slated to open in 2026. Now again, we are heading into a real working movie studio where movies and television are made almost every day. Most of filming takes place in one of our many sound stages. Coming up on your left is Soundstage 12. This is both the biggest and oldest single standing soundstage on the lot. Here are a few things that filmed in that historic soundstage. All of those scenes and countless others filmed inside of that one building we call Soundstage 12. But that's only one of 36 sound stages we have on our floor.
Wonder what maze is this?
3 more stages off to your left, 9, 10, and 11. Recently used for the show Grand Crew, starring Nicole Byer. It's a really funny show. More recently used for the show Hacks, starring Gene Smart. Season 4 airing on HBO Max. I mean HBO Max. Down the way, sound stages 7 and 8 currently being used for the 4th and final season of the show Bel-Air, starring Tamari Banks and Ollie Charlatan. That's the dramatic retelling of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Soundstage 7 has a long history with us. It's where we filmed the shower scene from Alfred Hitchcock's 1960s thriller, Psycho.
Bowser.
Happened right in there.
You like Bowser?
So there's some potted trees. All of those trees go into the sound stages when they're ready to start filming. Those are all part of the set there. You'll also see a bunch of trailers for the show Bel-Air. As we make this right, look to your left, you'll see more trailers, and then what we call base camp for the show Bel-Air. Whenever one show sets up all their trailers in one location, they call it base camp. So this is Bel-Air's base camp. Oh, they got some of their picture cars. Down the way over to your left, you'll see some vans that say Bel-Air Academy. Expect to see those cars in the show. And then at the top of the parking structure over to your left, you can actually see they've built a set for the show Bel-Air made out of those plywood flats. That's what makes up most of the walls you see on television. Beyond all that, Soundstage 14 that was used for shows like Superstore, starring America Ferrera.
Let's see if we see any mazes.
Two identical
No,
blue
stage 15. I don't know if they're gonna make a maze in there.
A lot of times we
Last time I saw it open.
Use multiple cars just in case something happens to one or they need
There's another
stuff
maze
to
right
another.
here.
They have
You guys remember?
Soundstage 14 also used for movies like Apollo 13, directed by Ron Howard, which is celebrating its 30th anniversary this year.
That's a maze.
Over to your sorry, the 20th anniversary. It's the 30th, I'm sorry. Alright, this cluster of sound stages over to your left is what we call Sitcom Alley. This is where most of our television shows are filmed. We've been making television since 1939. About 10 years after the invention of the television, we were making TV. Since then, shows like Different Strokes, Coach, Andy Tribeca, Family Feud, Never Have I Ever, Loot, and most recently, The Paper, all filmed in this cluster of sound stages. Have you guys heard of The Paper yet? This is a new Office spin-off. They filmed inside a soundstage 19 this past year. As of last week, we were allowed to talk about it. It was a top secret production until last week. So keep an eye out. There'll be trailers coming out any day now. That's happening over to your right. Over to your left, these bungalows were originally built to be dressing rooms for the stars. Stars like Doris Day, Jimmy Stewart, Lucille Ball, Rock Hudson, Happy Pride, Richard Pryor. They all used these as homes away from home when they were filming here on the back lot with us. These are now used as production offices for some of the biggest writers, producers, and directors in the world. One of our newest neighbors is Kevin Williamson, the writer of the original Scream, producer of Dawson's Creek. Moved into Robert Zemeckis' old office about a year ago now. In a moment, you'll see Mark Platt's production company. They brought you La La Land, Dear Evan Hansen, Wicked, starring Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande, and most recently, the live-action How to Train Your Dragon. Alright, we're passing by the most famous bungalow on the lot, 5195. The familiar silhouette on the front is that of director Alfred Hitchcock. He directed films like The Birds, Rear Window, Psycho. That was his bungalow when he was here on the lot with us working on his show, Alfred Hitchcock Presents.
We all go a little mad sometimes. You've seen the blood.
To your left, Soundstage 26, currently being used for the new season of the show St. Denis Medical, starring David Allen Greer from shows like In Living Color. Wendy McClendon-Covey from shows like Reno 911 and Allison Tolman, the breakout star of this show. If you haven't seen it, it's airing on NBC, streaming on Peacock the next day. They film most of their indoor scenes in that soundstage.
Lots of great movies
most
from
of their
here.
outdoor
Backline.
scenes in these big
Got a lot of
city
Marvel,
sets.
Captain
Off
America,
to your right
Spider-Man.
are our metropolitan sets. These sets are massive. They take
Back
up
to the
about
Future,
4 acres of our backlot.
Fast and the
Our
Furious.
first stop is Brownstone Street. This area coming up on your right was used in movies like Home Alone 2, Lost in
Bruce
New York,
Almighty.
starring Macaulay Culkin, and this scene from Bruce Almighty.
Race the dog! I'm in the shower! Like that.
You guys ever seen the movie Bruce Almighty? That's where they filmed it.
Oh, you're done. Beautiful.
Beautiful indeed, Mr. Carey. We do have some tents set up. We were filming a commercial in this area just yesterday, so they left some of their equipment. We're going to turn the corner onto the most recognizable set on the back lot. We call it Courthouse Square. It's also known as Hill Valley from Back to the Future and Back to the Future Part 2.
Yeah.
You may notice our courthouse looks a little bit different than it did in the Back to the Future movies. It's been redesigned quite a few times. Most recently, this is the high school in the show Ted.
Are you sure?
Yeah, but the original courthouse is still standing just beyond that new courthouse facade, long before the Back to the Future movies. That original courthouse, same courthouse from To Kill a Mockingbird, starring Gregory Peck, as well as the pilot episode of Rod Sterling's The Twilight Zone. Very first episode ever of The Twilight Zone.
Like they're doing a Bel Air
titled
Academy
Where Is
bookstore.
Everybody? Filmed most of its outdoor scenes right here on Courthouse.
They're gonna use this in one of the series of book Bel Air, the show.
And it looks like Bel Air was filming over to your right. You'll notice Bel Air Academy Bookstore written on a sign up there. Yeah. All right, we're gonna cross. Oh, we're going into New York Street. Oh, they
And then
still
right
have
here,
some of
they
that
have a,
commercial setup. Notice all of these little
toys.
details off to your left. The trash cans, the newspaper stands, the ATM neon sign. That guy works for us. But yeah, all of those little pieces are brought in depending on what productions need. We're usually making the biggest changes to these sets dependent on the time period and location a director is going for. For instance, this area is Boston in the 90s in the show Ted. All we do is set up a Dunkin' Donuts and an old electronic shop, and boom, you have Boston in the 90s. Yeah. This was Chicago in the Blues Brothers, San Francisco in Dirty Harry. The Are You Feeling Lucky Punk scene was filmed in these city sets. We've had a number of superheroes swing through these streets. 2 generations of Spider-Man, both Andrew Garfield in The Amazing Spider-Man and Tobey Maguire in Spider-Man 2. Now, we're still waiting on Tom Holland, maybe one day. More recently, we had a Fortnite commercial film out here. We had Sketch and some of the guys from AMP. Sketch said his famous line, "What's up, brother?" in these streets right here. Yeah, we know it. Very good. We also had a new A24 film titled Vaccine. It was in theaters this past summer. It was a sequel to both X and Pearl. Our movie studio played a movie studio in that. All right, we'll drive through the outskirts of those sets one more time a little bit later. But first, we're going to head up this hill over to one of our current studio tour attractions. On our way, we're going to pass by some retired attractions. Coming up on your right is our collapsing bridge. We used to drive trams over this bridge, make it feel like it was falling apart beneath you as you drove over. Did anyone ever take the studio tour when that was part of it? Yeah, some nods and some hands, very good. The first time I ever took the studio tour, that was one of the attractions, ran until around 2008. Hey, Car 3, good to see you. Car 4, looking good back there. Hey. All right, our next stop is King Kong 360 3D. We got about a minute and a half before we head in. Let's hear a quick word from Peter Jackson.
It's the original King Kong that made me want to direct movies. I saw that movie on TV when I was 8 or 9 years old. I wanted to become a filmmaker. I like films that just take you away from your real life and sweep you up an adventure. Kong literally does that. I mean, you're on board the ship, you're sailing to a lost island, you're encountering monsters and creatures from, prehistoric times. We really put a lot of thought into the character and personality of Kong, and he's so much more than a monster. In fact, he's not a monster. You know, he is an incredibly majestic, ancient creature. He's a force of nature. He's old, he's wise, he's proud, he's fierce, and obviously he has a heart. The most important feature with Kong are his eyes. Kong's eyes are wonderfully expressive. They're full of emotion. His eyes are like a window into his personality and his heart.
Yeah, the actor behind those eyes is Andy Serkis, one of the best motion capture actors of our time. He also played Gollum in the Lord of the Rings trilogy and Caesar in the Planet of the Apes movies. Keep that in mind when you meet him face to face. Remember to stay seated at all times. Hold on to your belongings. Feel free to take pictures and videos. Just make sure your flash is turned off. Really hold on to those cameras. You do not want to drop your phone in here. Yeah, go ahead and put on your 3D glasses. And welcome back to Skull Island.
We're going back in time, boys. Hope you guys are ready to go back in time and experience how was it with dinosaurs among us.
Hold on tight, it's going to be a bumpy ride.
Let's go, we survived.
Congratulations, that was King Kong 360.
We just made it out of King Kong.
Pretty good. That experience was projected on some of the world's largest 3D screens, standing at 40 feet tall and 180 feet wide. It was produced by Peter Jackson and his team at Weta FX. Weta FX is a New Zealand-based company. They've now won 7 Academy Awards and worked on films like Deadpool and Wolverine, The Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, The Lord of the Rings trilogy, Avengers Infinity War, Doctor Strange, The Multiverse of Madness. They just won their 7th Academy Award for their work in Avatar. Alright, we're going to drive through the outskirts of our metropolitan sense again. Now, most of the buildings you're seeing here are what we call facades.
So we're coming up to one of the murals that they did
if we film a scene that is supposed to be inside one
in
of
the
these
back
buildings,
lot where
we try to do
it
so on a soundstage
introduces
where
all
we
the
have more
monsters
control over
of
the
Universal,
sound.
which is
When you're filming in a normal
Black
building,
Lagoon,
something as simple as an airplane or
Frankenstein,
a
the Bride of
helicopter
Frankenstein,
flying
and
overhead can halt
Dracula.
production completely. Just the sounds of the engines can ruin the audio on a take you're trying to get. So we only come outdoors to film when it's absolutely necessary to see an entire city with a big blue sky in the background. So because these aren't normal buildings, the outside of these buildings are not built out of normal building materials. For the most part, you're looking at foam rubber, fiberglass, plaster, and plywood. Not a single real brick in this 4-acre city. What looks like brick are sheets of fiberglass we make in a machine we call a vacuum form. Think of like a giant waffle iron. We put a flat sheet of fiberglass in, mold it into the shape of a brick wall. We have dozens of different molds to begin with, and then we can paint them to look like hundreds of different styles. Now, a major reason we do this is so we can customize these sets. If a director comes to this brick wall here and says, I don't like the look of this, we can change that brick wall within the matter of days if we need to, rather than weeks or months to rebuild an entire building. Yeah. Off to your right, a beautiful mural done by a local graffiti artist by the name of Tristan Eaton. He's got an Instagram, give him a follow. That was done by hand over the course of a couple of months. And then over to your left, sound stages 30 and 31, where we've been filming The Voice for over 5 years now. You'll actually see they do have some of their set pieces out. They've been slowly loading in. They're getting prepped for season 28 of that show. And then beyond that, over to your left, our beautiful Park Lake area, used for films like Creature from the Black Lagoon. That movie celebrated its 70th anniversary last year. This is the lagoon from that movie. And if you see any geese in there, we actually had a family of geese hatch their eggs on the banks of this lake earlier this spring. So keep an eye out for it. Sound stages 32 and 33, currently being used for the show Happy's Place, produced by and starring Reba McEntire. Now she's going to be a coach on the next season of The Voice as well, so she actually does have 2 jobs. So, Reba joke. All right, across the lake toward the front of the tram, you're going to see some satellite dishes in a moment. If you still watch NBC with your bunny ear antenna, these satellite dishes are how we beam the signal to you, at least on most of the West Coast. In 2028, when the Summer Olympics come to LA, these satellite dishes will be part of the system that beams the Olympics to the world. All right, we're gonna head into one of the oldest areas on the lot. We call this Little Europe. A lot of our classic monster movies were based in European folklore, so we needed an area that could look like anywhere in Europe we wanted it to be. This is what we came up with. This can be Germany, Italy, France, Spain. This doesn't even
Lots
have
of great
to be
movies
Europe.
was filmed here
It was
as well.
Egypt in the original Boris Karloff mummy movie.
Disney actually
This can
uses
be made-up countries.
this
Was the country
backlot
of
for
Genovia
their
in Princess Diaries 2, A Royal Engagement. It's where the
Jack
parade
Sparrow
scene
movies,
happens.
Pirates of the
It teaches
Caribbean,
kids the princess way
Bruno,
back, right here. But most recently, this
and
set was
others
The
as well.
Afterlife in The Good Place, starring Kristen Bell and Ted
Good
Danson.
Place was filmed here.
You, Eleanor Shellstrop, are dead. This location, the afterlife, I have never ever seen this. You're in the good place.
I'm not supposed to be here.
Yeah, it's a fantastic 4-season show created by Michael Schur. He's worked on some of your favorite NBC comedies. He was a writer on The Office, executive producer of Parks and Rec, and creator of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. If you've laughed at any of those shows, check out The Good Place. Off to your right is our Court of Miracles, pretty literally the birthplace of the American
This right here, this
monster
spot,
film.
this is where
Folks
they
like
use
Bela Lugosi, who played the original
monsters
Dracula.
movies.
Boris Karloff, who played the
Bride
original
of Frankenstein,
monster.
stuff
Some
getting
of the biggest
chased.
stars of the 1930s.
The whole
got their
village.
start 30 feet
Oh,
here
they
right
made
inside.
monster movies here too.
Here's a few folks talking about those classic monsters.
I think we don't think of monsters.
Dracula, Frankenstein, Wolfman, Bride of Frankenstein,
The Mummy.
Hunchback of Notre Dame, The Invisible Man, Phantom of the Opera, classic films. They're just brilliantly made. That Frankenstein image, the flathead, it's one of the great icons of the world. That to me was like the essence of the universal horror film. I was just mesmerized by this movie. Boris Karloff, Lon Chaney.
Gonna pause it on Lon Chaney for a moment. He played the Phantom in the 1925 Phantom of the Opera. That movie turns 100 years old this year. Lon Chaney was known as the man with 1,000 faces. He was famous for doing all of his own makeup, including the look you see on your screen. In order to achieve the look of the Phantom, he used piano wire to shape his nose differently, and fish skin to make his face look scaly.
The original Universal Studios mummy movie really scaring me.
They still ring in our memories now, and we love them.
And there's Bela Lugosi, epitomized the role of Dracula. Before he played Dracula on the silver screen in 1931, He played Dracula on Broadway in the late 1920s. He perfected that role on the stage and then brought it to the West Coast to play it on screen.
We're gonna go to the metro of San Francisco.
We're gonna head into Soundstage 50. Just remember to stay seated at all times. Hold on to your belongings. Feel free to take pictures and videos. Just make sure your flash is turned off, and really hold on to those cameras. This is another spot where you do not want to drop your phone. And no need for your 3D glasses in here. Everything we're seeing in here is in the real world. This is our semi-permanent subway station set. It's almost always a subway station in here, but we can change the location of this subway station just by changing the signage on the walls. Notice the production that's currently in here is supposed to be in San Francisco. Almost every wall says San Francisco in some way or another. We have a working subway train that can come in on the tracks. So sorry, everybody. Southern California, little tremor. Stay seated. Hold on. We'll be fine. Okay, this could be the big one.
Here comes the tidal wave. So remember guys, that water is not clean. It is recycled water. So make sure not to drink that water or try to grab it and try to wet your face with it, because it's not clean water. It is recycled water. So when it rains, it collects water from the rain. And then they just reuse it.
Incredible set design. Occasionally, we do use large-scale mechanical effects to bring a scene to life. That room was chock full of them. Everything that you saw moving in there has to be able to do that hundreds of times a day and reset in under a minute to be ready for the next tour. Now, I realize that might have been a little stressful, so we're gonna head over to the studio beach to take a nice, relaxing break, okay? Our next stop is Amity Island. You might have heard about it. We had a bit of a shark problem, but don't worry about it. We caught the shark. It'll never happen again. My friend George is the scuba diver out here. He's doing one final sweep of the water to make sure everything is safe for us. It's actually George's last day on the job. We got a retirement cake in the break room for him. He loves chocolate, don't you, George? You can hear me. He's underwater. Well, take a nice deep breath. Consider what we've been through together today. Hey, do you hear John Williams playing somewhere? That's really good. Oh my goodness, another shark in the water. Who could have seen this coming? Gonna call for George. George! George, there's a shark! Swim to the boat, man! Alright, George decided on hand-to-hand combat. George, sharks don't have hands, they have fins. And teeth. You gotta watch out for the, for the teeth. Yuck. So sorry. Children, avert your eyes. Parents, for our safety, we're gonna hide behind these highly flammable gasoline tanks. Remember to stay seated for me. There is a shark on the loose. Nobody was actually scared. We had some pretty convincing acting on the right side of the tram. Well done, everybody. Well done. Jaws turned 50 years old last week. Still streaming on Peacock in honor of that. But this wasn't a little beach community. This was also Cabot Cove in Murder, She Wrote, starring David Angel and Lance.
No? Oh my god.
Do the kids know who Angela Lansbury is? You do. Mrs. Potts from the animated Beauty and the Beast. All right, we're gonna head over to this area of the back lot to do a quick weather demonstration for you. Rain can add a lot of drama to a scene, but it's not very cost or time effective for us to just sit around and wait for a specific weather to start filming. So a lot of times, we will make our own weather. We'll show you a little bit of how we do that right now on this area of the back lot we call Old Mexico. We've got speakers and strobe lights creating the illusion of thunder and lightning. Pretty convincing, even on a sunny Southern California day. Hidden at the tops of the buildings on your left and the tops of the trees, there is a sprinkler system. Those sprinklers create the illusion of rain. Notice how big those raindrops are. It looks like it's pouring. That's because it has to be to appear on screen. If you've ever been watching a baseball game and they stop for rain, but it looks like it's barely sprinkling, because most of the raindrops are too small for the camera to pick up well. So we make sure to have extra large raindrops to make it very clear that it's raining when we want it to be. And there is a lot of water coming down, though. I'm going to turn off that effect here. This area has been used in movies like Big Fat Liar, starring Frankie Muniz, Amanda Bynes, Paul Giamatti. Sorry, the rain's not turning off, and oh my goodness, everybody watch out! We just survived a flash flood featured in this scene from Big Fat
Lots of great movies filmed here too. You got Big Fat Liar, Nacho Libre, and a couple more, but those are the ones that come off to my head right off the rip. You have Nacho Libre and
turn to the corner here.
Big Fat Liar.
Used in movies like Nacho Libre, starring Jack Black, and The Dreaming of starring Steve Martin Short and Chevy Chase. All right, we're moving from Old Mexico to the Old West. Welcome to 6 Points, Texas. Pew pew, pew pew pew. It's one of the oldest areas on the lot. Take notice of the Opera House coming up on your left, heavily featured in Quentin Tarantino's most recent film, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Leonardo DiCaprio has a great scene he does on the front porch of this Opera House and inside. But this area, truly one of the oldest on the lot, where we filmed a lot of our silent film era westerns during the 19-teens and 20s. A lot of the performers we got for these early westerns came from vaudeville. That's an old style of theater. And they were used to performing in front of large, rowdy audiences, which is something we were able to accommodate. We would set up bleachers and charge people somewhere around 25 cents to let them come watch these westerns being filmed. And it helped the performances of these theatrically trained actors to have people cheering for the good guys, booing for the bad guys. Well, when sound started getting involved in movie making, we had to stop inviting audiences. From the 1930s to the 1960s, the only people allowed on these roads were the people that were making the movies. Then in 1964, we found a way of bringing that tradition back, of letting people onto the lot and showing them for themselves how movies were made. We opened up the very first attraction at any Universal theme park ever. It's the attraction we're sitting on right now. That's the studio tour. It all started with us 60 years ago as an homage to what we used to do right there in 6 Points, Texas. We're gonna drive by Jaws Lake one more time. Steven Spielberg's mechanical shark from the movie Jaws famously did not work very well. He first tested the shark in fresh water, so when he brought it out to the Atlantic Ocean full of salt water, it almost immediately stopped working. Caused a huge problem for production. They came back to LA with only a few usable shots of that mechanical shark. But it's all thanks to Steven Spielberg's editor, Verna Fields, that this movie was a success. Verna Fields was one of the very first high-level female executives in our industry. She edited Spielberg's movie so that his lack of shark seemed intentional. And a lot of people say the movie is scarier because you rarely see the shark. You don't know where it's coming from next. Verna Fields won an Oscar for editing Jaws. One of our editing buildings is still named after her to this day because of the incredible work that she did with us. All right, up this hill, over to your right, it'll be coming up on your left in a moment, is what we call Colonial Street. It's also known as Wisteria Lane from ABC's Desperate Housewives. Most of that show was filmed down that street. This street was originally constructed, however, for the movie The Burbs, starring Tom Hanks and Carrie Fisher, 1989. Here's what Tom Hanks looked like when he was working in that location on that movie. There he is, a young Tom Hanks. That's important to know because right now we are filming a show down that street, also titled The Burbs. This new show starring Keke Palmer and Paul Appel. They've been filming for about 3 months now. They're wrapping up season 1. This new show is based off the movie. It's going to be really cool. But here's a few other things that are filmed right there.
That's a great movie. Film here at Swan the Bank. Right here in this area, they filmed The Bird Box. You guys are familiar with that? Bird Box was filmed here.
Just about every Wayfair commercial you see on television right now is also filmed on Colonial Street. All right, we're turning the corner onto our picture car section. We got one of our original glamour trams from the 1960s when the studio tour first started. This is one of the trams that was taking folks around. Behind it, we have a gyrosphere from the original, from the Jurassic World, and a Jeep from the original Jurassic Park. Some of the cars from the Flintstones movie. Some of the cars from the Fast and Furious franchise. That silver and blue car is the one that the late Paul Walker drove in Too Fast, Too Furious. We got Bumblebee and a Decepticon hiding incognito. Yeah, more like, ooh, Carnito. It's a new one I'm working on. We're turning the corner to the most historic set on the lot. One of the original sets from Alfred Hitchcock's 1960s thriller, Psycho. We have the Bates Motel, where the monster in this movie would take their victims. Right up the hill is Mother's house.
They're probably watching me. I'll let them see what kind of a person I am.
As we head up this hill, notice our replica of the Hollywood sign, decorated in honor of Jaws' 50th anniversary.
I hope they are watching. They'll see, and they'll know. They'll say, why, she wouldn't even know.
Legend has it you could still see Mother staring at you from that second-story window. Did you see her? It's a reminder to use your sunscreen every day. Just beyond Mother's house is the biggest single set on the lot. One of the original sets from War of the Worlds, directed by Steven Spielberg. Yes, that is a real 747 airplane that was destroyed specifically for this film. About $250,000 to build this set. It was on screen for the final film for about 4 minutes.
Forget to sit down and talk about War of the Worlds. I thought, what if the 747 goes down right in the neighborhood? Because it's just something you don't see.
Notice this scene is eerie, but it's not scary or gross. There's no monster in this monster movie yet. Well, it's still fairly early in the movie, about 30 minutes in. Rather than taking this moment to scare his audience, Spielberg takes this moment to create an air of mystery. What's so strong in the sky could rip the roof off an airplane, pull out all the people, and throw it to the ground like it's nothing. And that's a common practice for thrillers. A lot of times we don't want to show you the scariest part of our movie or a good look at the monster that you're running from until we absolutely have to. It's one of the ways we create suspense or tension in our thrillers. This is a technique we still use to this day with thrillers we just released a couple of years ago, including Nope, directed by Academy Award winner Jordan Peele. Jordan Peele takes that same technique of hiding the monster until the very last moment to a level we've never seen in cinema before. We are going to drive through some of the original sets from Nope right now. Here's Academy Award winner Jordan Peele to tell you more.
Movie Movie magic only happens when a team of collaborators, often in the hundreds, work together to take an impossible notion and bring it to life. This is Jupiter's Claim, a nostalgic, small-time Southern California amusement park owned
What's
by
up,
former
Jared?
child
Happy
star
weekend, brother.
Ricky Juke Park. Over there, look into the Wiki Well and have your picture taken just like the kids in that old 90s movie 𝐾𝐨𝐧'𝐭. That's what this whole place is loosely based on. Remember that one? No? Well, a little further down, you can see the brand new Star Lasso experience. Built to showcase an unbelievable new live show. It's not looking so live anymore. Anyway, behind this Hollywood fantasy of a Golden Rush frontier now lies a sinister secret. Welcome to the world of no.
Just like a classic thriller. Like the shark in Jaws or Mother in Psycho, we're not going to show you the monster in this movie until we absolutely have to. And when we have to, is when you see the movie streaming on Stars right now. Here's a sneak peek, take a look.
What's up, Studio Tour? I'm Keke Palmer from Film. No. What's that? You'll have to see our movie to answer that one. Until then, you enjoy your visit to Jupiter's Claim.
Did you see a UFO in that cloud? Yeah. No.
I ain't never seen nothing like this.
No.
Are you ready? Run!
Holy hell. No.
Hell no.
Nope. Starring Keke Palmer. Again, Keke Palmer is also starring in our new show, The Burbs. Off to your right is the coolest thing you're going to see all day, and I'm not allowed to tell you a word about it. Everything that's going on here, yeah, I've been sworn to secrecy. I can only tell you about the history of this location. It's what we call Falls Lake. There's a big blue wall. In front of it, a big pit. If we want to, we can fill that pit with water and film scenes out there that look like they're in the middle of the ocean, using that big blue wall as a backdrop to replace the background with whatever we would like. Before we built that backdrop, we had a naturally occurring lake in that area where we filmed this scene from the movie Psycho. And then the backdrop was built for the movie Jaws: The Revenge. Now this is one of the few examples where we are using that backdrop, but we are not replacing it with CGI. The clouds you see in the background are physically painted onto the wall. You'll notice in the next shot, the water is dyed blue to look more like the ocean. Michael Caine, who's in this movie, you can see him standing on his boat with his very white hair. The first time he dove into the water, he came out with blue hair. So we had to figure out how to shoot around him actually putting his hair in the water. Yeah, here's a few other things that filmed out there. Apollo 13. This is the end of the movie. If you've seen Apollo 13, you know it's about astronauts that barely survived their mission to the moon and back. This is the capsule that's supposed to be holding the astronauts crashing back into the Earth. In reality, the capsule that you're looking at is about the size of a basketball and only about 50 feet away from the camera. That's a technique we call forced perspective. A lot of times we will build props or set pieces bigger or smaller than they actually have to be out of convenience, then either put them closer or further from the camera. The camera only has one eye, one lens, so depth perception is very hard for the camera to tell. We use that to our advantage whenever we can. Even when we're building our sets, like our big city sets, all the windows and the pillars at the top are smaller than the windows and the pillars at the bottom to kind of create a stretching illusion on the screen. Most theme park castles also use this technique. Yeah. And not the only time Tom Hanks has been out there. Miracle on the Hudson. Bruce Almighty starring Jim Carrey. Not the only time Jim Carrey's been out there. The Truman Show, the scene where his boat finds the end of the world. That was done out there as well. Yeah, that's a Paramount film, actually. They came out to use our wall just for that scene. And we do rent out resources to other production companies. We are a rental facility first and foremost. So a lot of times, yeah, you'll see other production companies coming out here to film. A lot of times we'll film productions in other studios as well. For instance, Jurassic Park, the iconic objects in mirror are closer than they appear scene. The Jeep chase sequence was actually filmed on the Warner Brother lot, just right down the hill from us. Yeah. So here. Oh brother, where art thou as well? That is a CGI cow, in case you were worried. Here, I can show you that full scene from the movie Sully that was filmed out there on Falls Lake. Keep in mind, the people are real, the airplane is real, the water is real. The only thing that isn't physically there is the city in the background. Even this shot right here, you see those 5 barges around the airplane there? When they came out to film, they brought out a half of a barge. They built a boat, but just half of one. And they set it up in 10 different locations, and then spliced all that footage together in a technique we call tiling. It's where you tile a bunch of footage on top of itself to create an illusion that there's multiple boats out there. We get that with people as well. A lot of times when you see audience scenes, that's the same 20 people in different shirts and different seats. That's a really rough job too. If you're a background actor and they tell you you're going to be tiling for the day, it's one of the hardest jobs you can do. You're changing your shirt, sitting in the same spot, filming the same 30-second scene for typically 8 to 12 hours. It's a really rough job, yeah. All right. Well, we're coming up to the end of the tour. We got one tram in front of us waiting to get back to the theme park. Then we will have a spot to unload. While we have some time, here, in honor of Jaws' 50th anniversary, here's the original theatrical trailer for the movie Jaws.
The Jaws ride was...
Wrong clip. All right, take 2.
There is a creature alive today who has survived millions of years of evolution without change, without passion, and without logic. It lives to kill. A mindless eating machine. It will attack and devour anything. It is as if God created the devil and gave him jaws. From the best-selling novel, Jaws. Rated PG. Maybe too intense for younger children.
PG. Can you believe that? This was before PG-13 existed as an option for a rating, so PG was the most appropriate rating for that movie. Yeah, because of the popularity of that movie, we built the Jaws attraction that we experienced today. Here's Steven Spielberg to tell you a little bit about the creation of that attraction.
The Jaws ride was almost the inevitable result of the size of the box office when Jaws first opened in June of 1975. And that was really the first time I ever got involved in the creation of a ride. It was a great honor to be invited into a creative circle of tremendous designers at Universal that were trying to figure out how to replicate what the movie had done to audiences in a real way by building a physical shark that would come out of the water and terrify tourists as they were sitting in the tram. And the most amazing thing about the Jaws ride is it is exactly as it was from the time it was first placed on the Universal lot. There have been tweaks, of course, over the years, but it is essentially what the designers and myself all envisioned and created. I'm done bashing the shark. Thank you, Jaws, for everything you've done for me. But I will say, consistently, the shark did work much better on the tour than it did in the Atlantic Ocean in 1974.
Yeah, The Jaws attraction is one of the first of many attractions that Spielberg helped to mastermind for Universal Studios. The Jurassic Park River Adventure, now known as Jurassic World, was originally created by Steven Spielberg, and it was the most expensive theme park attraction in the world at the time that he helped to design it. And it was actually all part of an agreement that Universal and Steven Spielberg had. If you've read the book Jurassic Park, you know that there's an iconic river raft scene in the book. And Spielberg wanted to put this in the movie, but they couldn't. They didn't have enough funds to add this scene to the movie. But we promised him we will add that scene as a theme park attraction. So when you experience Jurassic World, it is originally the lost scene of the original Jurassic Park. He also he helped to create the E.T. attraction, which was on our lot for a long time. It's now the Mummy ride, same exact building actually. They just built the roller coaster in that old attraction there. And our Back to the Future ride, Spielberg produced Back to the Future, is now our Simpsons ride. All right, we're coming up to the end of the tour. Take a look at that beautiful view of the San Fernando Valley. You can actually see our neighbors from here, Warner Brothers Studios, that line of tan buildings with a golden WB sign in the middle. That's Warner Brothers, where we filmed the Jeep scene from Jurassic Park. And beyond Warner Brothers is Disney and Disney Animation Studios, where Walt Disney did some of the best work of his life. That animation studio turned 101 this past October. Yeah. Walt Disney actually created a character for Universal at one point. Oswald with the big ears was originally created as a Universal character. If you watch the original Oswald Lucky Rabbit short, you'll see a Universal Pictures credit at the very beginning of the movie there. That character was later traded back to Disney, and then about a year ago became part of the public domain, along with other characters like Steamboat Willie. Beyond all that is Burbank Studios, where the original Laugh-In was filmed. Whenever they were talking about beautiful downtown Burbank, that's what they were talking about. When Johnny Carson would host The Tonight Show on the West Coast. Also, Burbank Studios right there. Yeah. And the LA River runs through this valley. It actually runs on the northmost side of our property, the southmost side of Warner Brothers. If you were to get on a little jet ski and ride up the river, in about 15 minutes you'd be at CBS Radford, where they film shows like Gilligan's Island. Yeah, the river runs right through the center of those studios there. So a lot of companies out here doing exactly what we've been doing for the past 110 years. We've been doing it the longest, but who's counting? Me, I'm kidding. But our mission has stayed the same. We want to make our audiences laugh, cry, or sit on the edge of their seats, no matter the medium. Whether that be silent film, talkies, movies, television, even our new streaming service, Peacock. There's some great original shows on that platform. Check out Poker Face, starring Natasha Lyonne. It's really good. But none of what we do would be possible without the hard work of multiple teams of people. Many of those teams are represented by unions. That includes our writers, our actors, our tour guides, and our drivers. Can we get a big round of applause for our driver, Oscar? Best in the business. Thank you, Oscar. He's getting us back to the theme park safe and sound. We're going to turn the corner here and let you on out here in just a moment. When we do, watch your step on your way out. Toss your 3D glasses in the bins. If you want to say hi, take a picture, ask a question, give me over to the studio director. My name is Ron. From all of us here at NBC Universal, we hope you have a great rest of your day here at Universal Studios Hollywood. We're going to get this tram out of the way and start popping gates here in just a moment. Well, looks like we're going to keep this tram here. When we start popping gates, make sure to exit toward the back of the tram.
that was a studio tour. We're pretty much done with the tour.
No popcorn, no butter.
Oh, that's what I want to go get. Thank you. We're gonna see what we do next. Debating if I should Panda. Okay, we got Panda. We got Pets. But see, it's because my plan on Pets activates until 3. So that's why I'm like debating.
Right? She wants to do water break. So it's at 2:15, like in 20 minutes.
What are you guys doing?
Come on, Shayla. Come on, Shayla.
What? Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's it for us. We are overburned. Yeah. We usually don't play this song.
Alright, guys. It's gonna be a short stream. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.